Hammer time. Go with the flow. It is said if you can't prove it.
Hello and welcome back to another army showcase. Today we're going to be looking at another backlog army. This is the army I'm currently painting, due to be completed this year. It's an army of Tilea, or a Dogs of War army. It's got a lot of Games Workshop miniatures in it, but it's also mixed in with a lot of 3D prints and third-party miniature companies. Specifically Perry Miniatures and Warlord Games Landsknechts. So we're going to do a showcase of this army today. Have a good look at the, I guess, Games Workshop's Italian proxies. Hey! Sorry about that. I think I'll start over here with the Galloper guns. Here we have 3 Bronzino's Galloper guns, primed and ready for painting. There's a Bronzino there, and the guns, carriages, and crew. Some of them are kitbashed, or there's even one Empire mini in there. Alright, and then we'll move on to the front here. Here we have, I guess you call them Briganza's besiegers, and some Last Swords miniatures, crossbowmen with bivaces. They don't mix in perfectly well. The Dogs of War miniatures from Games Workshop are leaning forward, whereas most of the Last Swords miniatures equivalents are kind of leaning backwards. It gives it a little bit of a disorganized look, which maybe makes it cooler, I don't know. I'm thinking about fleshing this out, instead of being 1 unit of 30 into 2 units of 30. We'll see how I go with the painting schedule, and if I can find any more of these guys. Alrighty, here we have I always get this wrong, Hibu, or Revolt. It's kind of their volley gun equivalent. The rules I use are the Warhammer Armies Project Dogs of War rules, which include some of these interesting units. Here we have a unit of 10 Handgunners, Perry Miniatures with head swaps from the Perry Miniatures Italian, Swiss, and European heads. Those are the metal heads on top of the painted miniatures. I bought a lot of these miniatures from someone who had painted them up and kind of given up. So I'm, I guess, giving them a new coat. Here we have another Rahibu. So someone's going to give me shit for saying it wrong. And we have some Perry Miniatures crossbowmen with bivaces here, with the command group being from Last Swords miniatures. Here we have some Highlands miniature dwarves. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them in this army, but if it's a Dogs of War army, it kind of suits it. 14 of them there. On to the next line, we have the Marksmen of Miragliano. I probably said that wrong. I'm actually painting these guys at the moment, so I have to get them off the painting table to put them here. 30 of them. They're mixed with, about a third of them are Perry Miniatures, because I could only get 19 of these miniatures. They're hard to find. So I think I did a decent job in terms of mixing in the Perry miniatures. And when they're painted up, we'll see how well that looks. Here we have some old school 4th edition crossbowmen. 4th edition crossbowmen. think they were called Tilean Crossbowmen back then. And also, to flesh out the unit, they're mixed in with some Perry miniatures, with those head swaps from those Italian, Swiss, and European heads. Here we have our first unit of Pikemen. It's Perry miniatures mixed in with Landsknechts from Warlord Games. So I did a lot of body part swapping and arms and head swapping. And hopefully with the paint job they have more of an Italian feel than a German feel. But we'll see. Maybe we can say they're from northern Tilea. And here we have the Alcatani Fellowship. This unit was very hard to get. I got it many years ago. Looking forward to painting it. I can't imagine what they cost now. And here is another one of the Perry Miniatures and Warlord Games mixed pike units. Again with the head swaps. A lot of the helmets I put on these pike units, they're more along the lines of those Italian helmets or the Barbuta type helmets, as you'll see. Alright, moving on, we have a unit of Ricco's Republican Guard. Painted these last month. Also very hard to get a hold of those. And a third unit of pikes, similar to the other two, with those head swaps, as you can see, which I feel give them a bit of a Tilean look. Sorry. Here we have a pike unit from Last Sword Miniatures. They have their own kind of Dogs of War range, and so these guys also have that kind of Barbuta helmet and that Tilean look. Apologies, I'm using a crappy camera. Sorry about the movement. Here we have, I think they're called Leopold's Leopards. It's been many years since I looked at the box of these guys. Boxes, I managed to get 30 of them. Actually a few more, but the other ones I kitbashed. Something else. Alrighty. We'll move over to the rear. Here we have a dozen Gladiators. These are from Last Swords Miniatures. So I guess they could proxy if you're using your Tilean or Dogs of War Armies and Empire Army. You could proxy these guys as militia maybe, and maybe not have them skirmish. They're also kind of currently being painted. Alright. And then here we have Lumpen Krups Fighting Cocks. I also have an extra command group of those if someone's looking to buy them. Hit me up on the email, it's in the description of the channel. Here we have a Grudgebringer Swordsman. So if you guys remember the Dark Omen video game, and I think the other one was called Shadow of the Horned Rat. They're printed up, they're a little bit big, but I'm going to ignore that. And here we have some more Perry miniatures with head swaps from the Dismounted Knights, I think, or Men-at-Arms set. And these guys will, obviously they could proxy in as great swords. Alright, and this unit is actually from my Everland army. It's the Knights of the Blazing Sun, but I thought I could use them in both armies depending. So I'm showcasing them here again. Again from Last Swords Miniatures. here's another one of those Perry miniature sets that I bought from someone who was kind of giving up on a project. So I've kind of kitbashed them and head swapped them, and they're going to be a unit of Tilean halberdiers. And here we have some sword and bucklermen. Also Perry miniatures with head swaps from the Perry Italian, Swiss, and European heads to give them that more Tilean look. And here we have a unit of bowmen in a similar style, similar vein to the other units that are Perry miniatures with head swaps. If you guys see my other videos, you'll notice that these are my ogres from my Ostland army. I figured they would mix in very well with the Dogs of War army. So they're here as well. Okay, now into the back line we have the Knights of the Blazing Sun from Last Swords Miniatures. And here we have, I think I managed to get 6 Volan's Venerators, and the other 4 are Empire Knights with head swaps to make them look more like part of the unit. Also being painted at the moment. And here we have the Grudgebringer Cavalry. So anyone that played that video game will fondly remember these. And we have the captain there, the flaming sword. Also good for a mercenary unit. Here we have obviously a kit-bashed Leonardo, but this is a Last Swords miniature kind of Dogs of War cannon. They also come with a carriage, but I'm not using those. These cannon are bigger than the Galloper guns. And we have a whole host of what I'll be using as characters for the army from Games Workshop and Last Swords Miniatures. This standard bearer is a Tilean Overlord, I think. Bashed with some Games Workshop banner and whatnot. Some more special characters from the Dogs of War sets. Got a Warhammer assassin here. Can't remember what his name is anymore. And Lorenzo Lupo from the Dogs of War set. Got him recently in a lot I bought. Body looks clean. Probably recast. And another cannon. And here we have some cavalry from Perry Miniatures, kind of European cavalry. So I'll be using them as knights, Tilean knights. Here we have Al Mukhtar's Desert Dogs, primed and ready for Al Mukhtar's Desert Dogs, primed and ready for painting. And at the very end we have 2 units of mounted crossbowmen. So I think 7 in each unit. Not sure whether to make these units of more or less. We'll see how I go. And that is my Dogs of War army. If I got anything wrong, pop it in the comments. Don't mind being corrected. It wouldn't be the first time, especially on pronunciation. I always say cavalry wrong. Everyone gives me shit for that. And I'm sure I got a few things wrong this time. So, there we go. That's the Dogs of War. Hope you enjoyed, and if you didn't, Forget about it. Sorry. That was wanky. Anyways, have a good one. Bye.